Hey ladies and gents, this is Linda Chic 777, and today I'm coming at you with a design team project for Lavish Laces. Now this project I created for a friend. This is a surprise, but a little while ago I had mentioned wanting a few things from a store that we don't have in our area, and she graciously said that she would do a little shopping for me. So, you know, I sent her some money and she happily went on her way, and I wanted to just give her a little something as a thank you gift. And I'm going to move my sign out of the way and show you some of the laces that I started with from Gisella's shop. And I also used quite a few flowers, the Wild Wicker Craft flowers and stuff that she carries in her shop as well. Now this is one of the little bit I have left of the laces that I used. It's kind of a mauve color. Very pretty. I think got on the, yeah, this is the right side. Very pretty. And I love because it is a versatile one. I mean, you can totally cut it apart and use different pieces of it. And then I use this. I love it because I love the scallop trim on it. Very pretty. And then I used this trim. Basically, I just used one little teeny tiny cute bow. And then I have one left of this mini rosette trim that I have, this cream color. Anyway, I want to show you what I started with. Around Valentine's Day, you know, our Dollar Tree got in all the Valentine's stuff, and they carried these little Valentine's boxes. So I got about 3 or 4 of them because, of course, they had XOXO on them. And I thought, well, how cute would that be to alter? And I did. And this is what I came up with. So here it is. Okay, so I pulled out some oldies but goodies. I pulled out romance novel and Prima romance novel paper and Prima tea time paper. And then I also pulled out one of the newer ones, Prima Delight Collection, Jody Lee Delight Collection. There's a pretty tea time paper. Okay, and I'll show you the inside when we get to it. Here's the top. Wanted to show you. Okay, so I had these really kind of miniature, I don't think it's more than about 2-3 inches wide, these little doily hearts, paper hearts. So I started off laid on top of the tea time paper, this cute paper heart doily. And then I fussy cut a few things actually out of the romance novel collection, this little message ticket and this little piece that says a perfect day. And then on top of that message, I placed one of the new, I feel like I'm really shiny, you guys. Hold on just a minute. Okay. I placed the Prima resin clock here. One of the, I love it because it's like a tall, like grandfather clock almost, or one of those clocks you see like in the, you know, the city square. So I love that. Place that there. And on top of that, I place this perfect day, and then I used one of the Recollections clothespins. It had a different flower on top, but I pulled, I believe it was a Wild Wicker Craft flower, and I kind of mushed it up, a flower from Gisella's shop, kind of mushed it up, and then made my own shimmer mist, you know, trying to kind of match a mauve color, and then added some, I think it was Pearl-Ex or one of my others, just kind of a clear shimmer to it as well to give it some shimmer as well as a color. Obviously, if I added shimmer to it, it's going to give it a shimmer, right? Anyway, and so I kind of, you know, I want to say paper clip. It's a clothespin all that kind of together like that. And then on top of the clock, kind of at the bottom, is a little butterfly from my stash, and I made some little antennas for it and added a little gem. And then behind the little butterfly I used some chipboard brick wall that I kind of cut a little section of and placed on there. And you can see here kind of running all the way across, it's all underneath there, but is the mini rosette trim. I used that there. And you can see the little scallop trim right here that I used from Gisella's shop. And then this is just some lace from my stash right underneath that scallop trim. Okay, and then on top of the rosette trim, you can barely see it, but it's just, this is just a little banner piece here. from Recollections, little wood piece, because it was kind of a mauve color, so it was perfect. And on top of that, I laid a little Prima metal piece that says Journey. And then I also added a little Ingville Bohm White Heart gear here, and then one of the little cute Prima resin angels. Aren't they so teeny tiny? Cute, I'm telling you. And then over in this section, I got a bunch of flowers all back in here. Some Prima flowers, like from Stationer's Desk. I was trying to think what else. Recollections flowers right back in here. I'll kind of tip this up so you can see all the flowers I've got back in here. I've got some little miniature roses tucked in here, and there you can see the teeny tiny bow from that trim. And then have my little XO in there. And then on top, right up here, this is the wood piece from the Cartographer collection, the wood hot air balloon. So laid that right there. And I've got a little wood piece from my stash that says Love. And then here I've got some wooden windows. I wanted the windows to kind of, you know, envelop what was going on in here because I wanted it to be a perfect day. I know! Anyway, so right on top there, you could barely just see it. See, I've got it kind of, this right here, I've got it kind of pleated back and forth over the top of the flowers that are all kind of munched up in there and kind of hidden. What I did is I used Gisela's trim here. This was the front. And right here, you could see this little flower portion of it. I cut about, I don't know, 6 to 8 of these little flowers out. I just kind of cut it out in one long strip, and then I pleated it, like I said, back and forth over the top and hot glued it into place over these flowers. And then I've got some little Petaloo fabric flowers going on here and here. And then on top of this big, large Recollections flower, these are my favorite, these wild roses. This is like the 40 millimeter, I believe. I've got some, and I have like a ton of those because I just love them, like I said. I've got some Prima clock hands there. Okay. Give you another little look-see here. All right. And then on the front of the box, I've got a little silk ribbon from May Arts here. Tied it into a bow. And then this is a little Prima zipper that I hung from the ribbon. And then I just, from the zipper, just hung like a little acrylic charm. Okay? And then on the inside, as you open it up, you can see here the Delight collection, Jody Lee's Delight collection. What I did is I made the inside into a pin cushion. Now, no worries, if she didn't want it to be a pin cushion, I made it so that the pin cushion comes out. And then she could just have the inside as a box. And inside there you can see that beautiful trim I showed you at the beginning of the video and just a little second ago, showing you what I cut from it. And then I lined the bottom with the same fabric that I made the pillow out of, and that fabric's just for my stash. But it was like the perfect color. You bring this out. So here's the little pillow I made, and I just kind of wrapped it like a little gift. I took some fiber fill, some stuffing, wrapped it like a little gift there, like I said. Hot glued it together. And then I made her some stick pins. I made some fancy and some not so fancy because you never know what you're going to need for a project. But I tried to make them so that they match the colors of everything here. So I'll show you what I came up with. See, I did kind of like some blacks and kind of some, this is kind of a peachy mauve type color, but that's okay. I didn't really have any mauve color beads, so I kind of used some peach, but little butterfly, pearls and flowers. And then this one's got, hold it here, it's got some dangly, got some flowers all the way around, and it's dangling off a little gem and a little mini key. Okay. And then this one's got a bunch of flowers. And then I love this big, I just love that. I got those, I think they're from Bead Landing and from Michaels. I love those. They look like a waffle cone to me. Now you want ice cream, don't you? And then this is just pearls and roses, and it's got another little kind of fun little dangly here. I don't even know. Is it focusing? Yeah, it's all made out of wire. It's all like twisted together. It's kind of a cute little dangly. Bought that at Joann's, I believe. And here's another little stick pin here. And then here's a couple of the plain ones coming up. In case you know, she might want to use plainer ones on a card. Okay. And then there's this one. And I think I didn't show you this one yet. And then there's this one. Glue string. Here we go. Okay. Alright, and then, like I said, you could put it all back in the box if she wanted, or she could just leave this out and leave it to the side and use it for a pin cushion that always sits out. Just kind of fits all nice and snugly right back in there, and then you close the box back up, and there you have it. So this is my little project. I hope you guys liked it. I'll have the links down below to Jayzella's shop. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.